why I have over 30 credit cards. That's the topic for today's episode, and without further ado, let's dive in. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode. For those who are tuning in for the first time, this is your channel for real estate education. So as you know, I love credit cards. I am the credit card queen, and today I decided to create an episode to walk you through my thinking process and hopefully help you start shifting your spending behavior from cash or debit card into credit card. And without further ado, let's just dive into the board. So the very first reason as to why I prefer credit cards over anything else is the sense of security or a sense of protection, right? So let's just say, and we're gonna make this into a subcategory. So let's just say you're walking around and all of a sudden you lose your wallet, right? And you're exposing anything that's in your wallet to whoever finds it. If nothing happens, awesome. But let's say this person is well-intentioned and they want to take advantage of whatever is in that wallet. So if you have cash for whatever reason, that cash, it's gone. That's it. You will never see that cash again. So imagine if you're kind of like, my parents would like to carry at least $200 in their wallet and then it's gone. $200, you will never see those again, ever. If you have a debit card, right? So with a debit card, it's kind of tricky because a lot of people, for some reason, they think that a debit card has the same functionality than a credit card, and it doesn't. If you lose your credit card and this ill-intentioned person gets a hold of anything in your checking accounts, let's say you have $1,000 and this person goes on a shopping spree and decides to spend all $1,000 that is in there, it's going to be very difficult for you to fight it with the bank. You're going to have to call, and they may or may not ever give that money back to you. And let's say you do get a percentage back, you will not get anything back during the process that they're investigating that. And the investigation can take a week, two, a month that you will perhaps never see this ever again. And imagine if that debit card is also linked to your savings account. And whatever amount you have in your savings account, let's say you have, I don't know, $10,000, this person might get a hold of it as well. You never know. Now, if you have a credit card, credit cards offer fraud protection. So if there's anything in there that is, charged as a result of fraud, you actually can get that money back. I remember the very first time I was 19 years old when I had that very first credit card ever. I had a purchase that came from the state of Massachusetts. I think it was $20-something. I have no idea what that came from. I have never been in my life to Massachusetts at the time. And all I did was just to call the bank. And in fact, it was actually Bank of America. I called them and I said, hey, why is this charge coming from? I've never seen that before. And what did they do? They completely voided it. I was never held accountable for that expense. And that's one of the many protections that a credit card can offer you. Then another layer of protection that you get from credit cards is that you can dispute charges. And I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you at some point in your life. So let's say, for example, you buy a product online, right? And 2-3 days later, that product gets shipped to your door and it's damaged. You call the seller and the seller is not being cooperative. And now you're very upset because you pay a certain amount of money and this person is not even willing to send you a replacement. It wasn't even about the money, but hey, it wouldn't be fair for you to just give away your money to someone who is not even willing to accommodate you. So what you can do is that you simply call the credit card company and you dispute your charge. You dispute that charge and you explain them what happened. Hey, I purchased this product, it arrived damaged, and I have proof for this, and I'm trying to contact the seller and the seller is ignoring me. And you show them evidence, you show them proof. Actually, I did that a couple of years ago because that's exactly what happened. And what they did is that they reach out to the company, to the seller, and within a few months, I got the money credited into my account. Something like this, it's very difficult to happen with a debit card. And if you pay with cash, forget it. Another perk that you get in terms of protection from a credit card is that you can get extended warranty. So depending on the product or service, and also depending on the type of car. So let's say, for example, you buy a TV, right? And then the manufacturing warranty lasts for an hour. But with Citi, perhaps you can get that warranty extended for another year. So now you have a 2-year full coverage of that. So it's also another one of the great perks that you get with credit cards. The third one under the protection category will be price protection. And I know that Chase Preferred Sapphire is actually an excellent card for that. So what exactly is price protection? So let's say, for example, you buy a camera today and that camera costs $2,000. And then 1 week down the road, you see a sale and you see that the price dropped, and now that same camera that you bought for $2,000, it's $1,500. So you can actually call Chase and ask them about the price protection that they have as part of, one of the many perks for having that credit card. And you can get actually that money back into your account. Another perk that you get under the protection category is that you get purchase protection. So let's say, for example, you purchased a product and it was never delivered to your door, and you checked into the seller's website and it shows that it's been delivered, but you're looking all over the place and you cannot find it, right? Cards like Chase Sapphire Reserve, not to be confused with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, right? So Chase Sapphire Reserve and the American Express Gold card, they both offer you guarantee for anything that you purchase and that was stolen down the road. That's something that cash cannot provide you. That's something that a debit card cannot offer. And you can see where I'm going with this. And then another perk that you get under protection is travel insurance. This is by far one of my favorites. For example, cards like Chase Sapphire Reserve can actually cover you the cost of any luggage that has been lost or any item that you had inside of that luggage. And that's a perk that, once again, cash or debit card cannot offer. And the very last one under the protection category is that you can actually avoid having foreign transaction fees, right? So foreign transactions is actually a big thing, especially if you are a big fan of traveling. And in fact, this happened to me a couple of years ago when I went to Europe. I was a little unfamiliar with the perks that credit cards had to offer, and I wasn't taking the full advantage of the credit cards the way I do it now. So when I traveled to Europe, I actually used my debit card to cover all of the expenses because, again, I've never been a fan of carrying cash. Many years ago back in college, I've lost my wallet with $200 in it and I never saw that again. So the most I carry around is $40, maybe perhaps $60 in my wallet, but everything else was debit card, and now it's pretty much credit cards. So what happened is that every transaction, even if it was for a cup of coffee or even if it was for a bottle of water, I used to just simply swipe my debit card. And for every transaction, when I looked into my bank statement, there were a certain percentage that was going away on transaction fees. So depending on how long you travel, those transactions fees can add up to a lot of money. They can add up to enough for you to buy a nice meal or maybe 2-3 meals during that entire trip. And that is something that is definitely not worth it. I pay for it. I didn't know any better. And I hope that you now don't make the same mistake, because there are a lot of cards out there. In fact, Chase Sapphire Preferred is actually one of those cards that they void international or foreign transactions every time you travel overseas. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and make some space. And while I'm doing that, don't forget to hit the like button right here below so you can help this channel rank and also make this information available to people like you who are looking to educate themselves. Another great perk, right, that I love about using credit cards is the ability to make money as you are spending money. And there are two ways you can actually do this, and that is through sign-up bonuses, right? So sign up bonuses, or through actual points. So sign up bonuses, for those who don't know what that means, let's assume you apply for a new credit card, and then you will probably read a statement that says something like, if you spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, then you will qualify to receive $500 worth of points. And those are the famous sign-up bonuses. So with those points, you can redeem them for travel. You usually get the most out of your points because they're worth more money if you use them for traveling, but you can as well use them as cash back so that you can utilize that money and pay down some of that debt, right? And if you probably wonder, how am I gonna spend $3,000 in a matter of 3 months? Hey, you can get creative with that. You can buy your groceries, you can actually pay for your rent. The key is to not spend money like a crazy mad person. The key is to utilize that credit card. Replace your existing habit of using cash or debit card and then use a credit card instead. So whatever amount of money that you will typically use cash to take care of it, you will use your credit card, and then at the end of each month you're going to take that cash and then just simply pay down the credit card. And then after you qualify for the sign-up bonus, some credit cards have excellent perks for you to accumulate extra points. So for example, I know Discover, depending on the time of the year, they will give you 5% cash back if you use their card to buy groceries, or you can get 5% cash back if you use that to buy gas for your car, right? So 5 points, that's actually very worth it, and you can utilize those points just, for anything you want. And then if you were to flip the other side of the coin, because you're making money, you are also saving money at the same time, because if you were to use that cash back to pay down the car, then it's just simply, you're literally just saving. If you spend $300 and you get 5% of it back, then you're actually taking a 5% discount in your day-to-day shopping experience. Another perk that you get by using credit cards is that you get early access. Get early access to a lot of things, right? Early access, let's say for example, I know American Express is actually great at it, and Chase Sapphire is actually great at it as well. And where, let's say for example, there's this artist that's coming to town and you know that the tickets are gonna get sold out. Maybe it's a sport event, or maybe it's whatever event that you want, and then all of a sudden you get that email and they are giving you an early access for you to buy those tickets, because they are very highly likely to get sold out. And on top of that, not just the early access, you might sometimes get discounted prices for those events that you love to attend. That's something that a debit card or cash cannot offer you. And now, once again, I need to make some space. And while I do this, do not forget to hit the subscribe button right here so that you can stay on top of the content that is released twice a week and give you the best learning experience possible. And number 4, this is in fact my favorite, you build credit. Credit is basically everything you need. It's everything you need to bridge that gap from where you are today to that financial position that you would like to get to. For example, credit can help you get a better job, right? Depending on the field that you're in. Credit can help you get access to the car that you want to buy. Credit can save you from a rainy day. Let's say an emergency happened and you don't have access to cash right away. Maybe your savings are not enough, but you have excellent credit. And by having access to credit, you can actually get access to money that you would normally not would have had in the first place. So building credit, extremely important. And the last one, which is the bread and butter of this channel, knowing how to use credit cards responsibly, aside from helping you build credit, can also help you invest in real estate, right? Because you can use credit card to make up that portion that you need as a down payment to invest in real estate. Because you're already building credit thanks to credit cards, you are demonstrating that you're someone who is financially responsible, that you know how to manage the money, and therefore you start building a strong relationship with the lenders. You're demonstrating them over the course of multiple years that you know how to manage money responsibly, and therefore get access to more funding so you can start and also expand your real estate portfolio. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. And remember that video I mentioned earlier that's going to help you complement whatever you learned today? Well, it's right here. I selected right here for you. Feel free to click on that card below so you can continue your learning journey. And that's all I have for you today. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.